6 teams came to the campus of Towson University. We are now down to 5. Hofstra in straight sets, taking care of business with a win over North Carolina A&T. Now the second half of our quarterfinal doubleheader as the host school, the Towson Tigers, take on the 6-seeded Stony Brook Seawolves. Hi, everybody. I'm Matt Janis alongside Monica Moore, and this is a matchup of two teams that really bring high hopes with them this week. Towson, no stranger to this stage, albeit a different-looking Tigers team than years past. Meanwhile, Stony Brook as experienced as any squad in the field.
That's right, Stony Brook. This is their 3rd straight CAA tournament berth. They have lots of players that have played in this event, players who are extremely competitive, experienced, and hungry to make it to the tournament final for Towson. As you said, they're a mainstay in this tournament, but Don Meadow has basically reconfigured his lineup. Lots of newcomers, but the result is the same. Towson is here. They're playing on their home floor, and they're looking to make some waves this weekend.
Indeed, they are. The Tigers went 23-5 overall, 14-4 in conference play. Stony Brook is 16-12 overall record, 9-9 in league action, but a big final weekend to get them back to the postseason. Let's talk about our players to watch. Two of the best in the conference, starting with Stony Brook's Kaitlyn Moore.
In 11 matches, she has had more than 20 kills this season. She leads the conference in total kills and total points. When Stony Brook needs an emphatic point, they go to Kaitlyn Moore. She has been absolutely outstanding. She has a lot on her shoulders this weekend, but she can absolutely deliver.
And her 463 kills are 12th in the country, so she is a national-type player. So is Victoria Barrett, the best in the CAA.
She is the CAA Player of the Year. So well deserved. 8th all-time in Towson history in single-season kills with 429. She has over 1,100 kills in 3 seasons. Towson puts a lot on her shoulders. She's going to have to come up big for the Tigers this weekend.
Towson had success against Stony Brook. These teams matched up just a couple of weeks ago, but despite the Tigers taking both of those contests, they were a little bit closer than the final score would indicate. And when we talked to Kristen Belzong and Don Meadow this week, they both seemed to feel this was a toss-up type of a match, really one that either team could win. If they're going to be successful, what are some of the things that stand out most for you that they have to do?
Well, I think it all starts with setting the tone early in your serve receive. You have to stay in system. You have to get good balls to your setter so you can get your offense going. We have talked about the offensive standouts for these teams, but again, it all starts with that good serve receive, and hand in hand with that, the aggressive serving. That was a big storyline in our first game with Hofstra, as they really came out strong with some aggressive serves. So we'll see today which of these two teams has that edge in set 1.
The CAA Volleyball Championship is brought to you by Jersey Mike's, a sub above. Good atmosphere, highly anticipated match. Winner of this one will take on Delaware in the second semifinal tomorrow evening. And to get it started against the Tigers will be Tori Henry.
Tori Henry has been such a big part of Stony Brook's success over the past few years. The setter, she does a great job of getting her offense involved.
And there's the offense for Towson, Zaire Abdul-Rahim. And what a good sign that is for the Tigers.
Second team All-CAA, has spent a lot of time in this league, both at Hofstra and now at Towson. She really understands where to place the ball on the kills.
Sarah Callender, good serve. And Moore a little bit on the back pedal. Touch try from Leonie Kuntz doesn't work. Barrett redirected it towards the corner, but Henry was there to spoil it. Towson, opportunity to be aggressive. They go to Barrett again. And a beautiful play from Moore. Kuntz just a tad wide. And Towson up 2-0 early. Both teams are going to have to take some chances just like that, though.
Well, and both teams are going to have to be on their game defensively, and that was a big story of that rally. Players flying everywhere, really covering on the back line. Both of these two teams have great hitters, as we've talked about, so the dig's going to be huge today.
Coons reaching back that time, but Stewart was there to spoil it. We'll say that a few times over the course of the evening. She always seems to be there. Abdul-Rahim had it sent back. Barrett, another try. Cross-court play, eats up Patsos. And what a start for Towson.
Maisie Jesse is really working the ball back and forth between Victoria Barrett and Zaire Abdul-Rahim. She has fantastic options on both the outside and the opposite side. That's going to be big for Towson today.
And that's so interesting because Towson has options at the setting position. Easy opportunity for Barrett. And it's a 4-0 Towson start. But the Tigers have used both Jesse and Kaitlyn Moran at center this season. Either is a great option. They go with Jesse to start things today. And Stony Brook has to regroup. An early timeout from Kristen Belzung. And she was a little bit concerned with her team pressing early. When you have this many seniors and grad seniors, sometimes you get to the postseason stage and they kind of stare at their own mortality. And it can affect you early in a game.
It definitely can. And especially when you want something so badly, you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself to make the big plays. Matt, we talked about defense, and I think defense has been the storyline for Towson so far. Yes, we absolutely talk about Barrett and Abdul-Rahim, but what about Sydney Stewart? She already has 3 digs in this contest. It's barely just started, and Sydney Stewart is flying everywhere, keeping the ball off the floor. She averages 4.59 digs per set. She's got a great serve, just everything that you would look for defensively for a team, and she could be an X factor today for Towson.
She's certainly someone that Don Nettle has talked about as an unsung hero with this group, despite the fact that she gets a lot of attention. But he said she could easily be an all-conference type performer. There's just a lot of traffic near the top at that libero position. But the kid he refers to lovingly as Sid the Kid has just grown up so much over her 3 years at Towson, has turned herself into one of the vocal leaders for this group. Calendar, the service there. Nice run, though, as she got 3 in a row. The transfer from William and Mary and the side out to Stony Brook.
It's sometimes tough coming out of the timeout, having to get back into your serving rhythm. Now, the question for Stony Brook, can they settle into this contest and get something going with Madison Signa coming in to serve? She is a fantastic serving option.
Stewart able to fight that one off. Barrett again on the far pin. Quick reflexes to send it over. Patsos too far in front, meeting at the net, and the center line violation goes against the Tigers.
Really well played by Stony Brook. Even though they had a difficult time returning that ball, they still get the point. Now can they make a big run behind Signa? She was fantastic against Campbell in the regular season finale.
Pittsburgh, PA native. Here's Barrett. You're going to see plenty of spectacular swings from her, showing why she's the CAA Player of the Year.
The thing is, when you already have such good talent on that front line and you can go to Victoria Barrett when you need that big momentum point, it is huge.
Elena Domingo airmails it, service air. That's something to keep an eye on for Towson. Don Nettle was lamenting his team can get a little loose on serve sometimes.
And in a contest like this one, a quarterfinal game, it can be difficult at times to keep that composure on your serve. So you have to focus, make sure you place the ball where you want it to go, get the right amount of power behind it. But as we talked about, it's so important to serve aggressively. So that's the balance that you're trying to work out.
Barrett cleans it up again. They're going to go to her early and often as Barrett already her 4th put away in this opening set.
She's been tremendous. You can just count on her to make the big plays. She understands where the block is. She can work around it. She gets the elevation on her opportunities. It's almost impossible to stop her.
Really good first touch from Signa. Block at the net, kept up by Barrett, who can do it all. They set the middle. Campbell able to power through the block try, and the grad senior gets served back for Stony Brook.
Well, we talked about how Sydney Stewart might be a bit of an X factor for Towson. I think Abby Campbell might be a bit of an X factor for Stony Brook. She's a great option in the middle. She's very smart, very experienced.
Barrett almost eating up Signa, but she fought it off. That sets up Moore, who on the ricochet gets it past Sydney Stewart. And the Seawolves back within one.
Great placement by Callie Moore. So smart, read the block very well.
Goods in her 4th year as a starter has really improved her service game over the seasons. Barrett couldn't get that one down. Moore, touch play. That is down. Callie Moore has Stony Brook even. What a timeout from Kristen Belzung as the Seawolves have scored 6 of the last 8.
Callie Moore is so smart and so savvy. She mixes things up offensively in terms of what she does, and what a fantastic serve for the Seawolves out of Kuntz.
Barrett from the back line. And Kuntz gives a try for the back line as well. Downhill opportunity, but Nakai couldn't put it away. Both teams really struggling to control that first touch. They've sent it over the net a few times. Scramble from Stewart. Barrett had to go off the camera. She was trying to feel her way to avoid contact, and Stony Brook's got the lead for the first time.
And Sydney Stewart might have been trying to do a little too much with that ball. I think she was trying to set up Victoria Barrett and get that right placement. She just put a little too much on it.
So they get the camera fixed, and the serve will come from Kuntz. That's quick work by the Towson staff. Very impressive. Good first touch from Barrett. Actually, a little bit more than she wanted. And a double contact gives the 2-point lead to Stony Brook.
What an infusion of energy Leonie Kuntz has been for Stony Brook. Has really grown into being a fantastic 6th rotation player, and you see her service game.
Barrett from the center, and that's where Towson can be at their best.
I just marvel at the consistency of Victoria Barrett when given these opportunities. That time straight down the middle. She gets a lot of chances, and she does a lot with them.
Again, the return goes over the net, a meeting at the net, and the point goes to Towson on the double contact.
Nakai doing a really nice job over on the right side for Towson, reading the game well.
And a service there from Barrett. Stony Brook back in front, and they will serve. Callie Moore doing the honors.
This is certainly the match we thought we were going to get between these two teams. It's going to be a series of runs. Different teams are going to have the momentum at different times, but these teams are so well coached. They're so disciplined that they're always able to reset.
Nothing you can do about that power from Nakai, the true freshman, really coming into her own.
Just get the sense she's going to be a special player over on this right side. They've gone to her quite a bit so far. She's delivering.
She's hit 300 or better 10 times this season, and that one touches the line. An ace for Towson, and Sydney Stewart gives the Tigers the lead back.
Don Meadow was talking with us about her service game. She has a range of options in terms of what she can do, and he said it's a luxury to have her because she can really mimic what other teams do on their serve and help them prepare for it.
Tough first touch from Patsos, but opportunity now for Stony Brook. Campbell couldn't have put it away. Stewart was there. Barrett from the back line. Touch play red on the dive by Kuntz. And then the off-balance finish from Quinn Anderson. The true freshman gets it down.
That was a whole lot of Leonie Kuntz diving on the floor, refusing to let the ball hit the ground. A monster defensive play for Stony Brook.
Now Julia Patsos serving for Stony Brook. Nice dig from Moore. Backline try. Towson was there, setting the middle. It came back to Domingo, and she can't meet at the net. It was Henry, too quick with the hops, and that's what Tori Henry does.
Tori Henry is such a great setter to have on that front row because she is powerful along the net, good defensively, brings so much to the Seawolves.
Calendar gets it through the blocking line, and the side out back to Towson, who draws even.
A good sign for Towson because Victoria Barrett is carrying a lot of the load right now. She's had 13 attempts, which is quite a bit more than anyone else on the team. And I think for the Tigers, they want to get other hitting options involved as well. So that was a big one for Calendar.
Service air for Towson. A lot of the stats favoring the Tigers right now, but the reason they trail by a point, they have all 4 of the matches service air.
They're trying to serve aggressively. Sometimes it does not go in your favor.
So now it's Henry. Good first touch from Stewart. Abdul Rahim had it deflected near the net. Trying to change up was Lewis. Right back at her from Abdul Rahim. Opposite side to Calendar. It was sent back, but Stewart, as she always is, was there. No touch, and Towson takes the point.
And more good defensive play by Sydney Stewart. She just continues to be so impressive in the amount of ground that she covers. She understands the game so well. So you see her placement on the floor, and it enables her to make the big plays for Towson.
A little bit off balance. It did not matter for Quinn Anderson. She has improved by leaps and bounds during the course of her rookie season.
And one of the big reasons, Kristen Belzung telling us, because she's so coachable. She takes the critique from the coaching staff. She's able to make the adjustments.
She said when you tell her something once, you never have to tell it to her again. As a service air, first of the match from Madison Signa, and we are tied again. So Towson scored the first 4. Stony Brook rallied back, and we have been on a razor-thin margin ever since.
But one thing you're certainly seeing is the depth of Towson, and you have to wonder in a match like this if that will become a factor. Stony Brook, a couple of 6-rotation players who carry a lot of the load for the Seawolves, and if this match goes long, and there's every indication to think it possibly could with how balanced these teams are when they match up against each other, you have to wonder if that depth of Towson could be something that could tip the scale.
Double contact again, and the point to Towson. This is part of that depth. Laura Detweiler in her first season at Towson. Good sinking serve. A lot of power near the net, but too much. A center line violation anyway, and the point goes to the Tigers. They're up by 2.
And you see what Laura Detweiler brings when she comes in off the bench. Bit of a serving specialist here for Towson, has an extremely good serve.
Transfer out of Arizona, first season with the Tigers. And that one finds the corner. Brilliantly done from Callie Moore.
And Callie Moore had to adjust on that as Stony Brook was out of system, and that just shows you how athletic and how smart Callie Moore is, that she's able to make that adjustment in the air.
And how good a feel the Seawolves have for each other's games. They scramble as well as anyone in the conference. Here's Ayanna Pierre-Louis. Abdul Rahim wasn't sure what Barrett was trying to do. You could see she had palms in the air, but she still sent it over. Coons tries the touch play. Stewart yet again reads it. Barrett slams it off the block that goes wide.
And yet again, it is all Sydney Stewart that allows that to happen. She truly does not get the credit that she deserves. Take a look at Sydney Stewart, the libero in black, number 5 for Towson. There's not an inch of this court that she has not yet covered.
There's Kaitlyn Moran, that other setter, the true freshman, serving for the first time for Towson. Moore had it sent back, but good reflexes from Henry. Another try for Moore, got a fingertip, and side out to Stony Brook.
I just continue to marvel at how smart she is, because she reads the defense. She knows exactly what is required to get these kills, and it's a big reason that Stony Brook has had so much success. What a serve.
Good first touch from Barrett and an awkward set, but a good job to send it over from Nakai. A block as Nakai was there near the net. Barrett kept that one up. Off balance, plays it over and gets the point. Victoria Barrett.
Unbelievable. 7 kills and 4 digs already for Victoria Barrett. She just does it all. Really, no question in terms of CAA Player of the Year. And Don Metal said last year you could have had co-players of the year between Barrett and Chaich. They were both so good. But you see Victoria Barrett, as good as she was last year, it just feels like she even upped her game another notch this year.
Struggling a tad, though, on her serve. And that was one of the things Don Metal talked about coming in. It was a little bit of a rough patch down the stretch. Her second service here. Stony Brook serving. Barrett handling it nicely. Calendar, the hammer. And Towson showing that depth you talked about earlier is now all of a sudden some other scorers starting to step up.
And that's going to be huge for them with Victoria Barrett on the back row. If Sarah Calendar can consistently hit those shots. Right now she's hitting 66.7%.
That's pretty darn good. Anderson's been good in the early going, but the touch play wasn't there. Barrett from the back row. And an opportunity here for Stony Brook. They go to Campbell. Good read from Naka. Back row try for more. Jug out as Moran was able to get defensive. Nothing more to do about that. Tried the best she could, but just too much power.
And you said it, Matt. Kaitlyn Moran, the freshman, coming up with the clutch defensive play in a tournament like this. The defense has to be on point, and right now, Towson getting some fantastic defensive plays.
Stewart used the tape on the serve. Barrett somehow fought that one off. Calendar from off the net has it come right back to her. Quinn Anderson had it sent back, but Campbell was there. Where'd Moore come from? Towson was ready for it, though. Not ready for that block. Anderson and Campbell both combining for the brick wall. Anderson sending it back.
Quinn Anderson had perfect timing on that play, which is what it takes. That is a massive play by Stony Brook, a bit of a momentum shift. We already told you how much she has grown and developed just in this first year with the Stony Brook program, and it is all a credit to her in terms of how she takes the notes from the coaching staff. And to be able to do that at the age that she is, the level of maturity that she is showing, I think she's going to be special for the Seawolves.
And emblematic of one of the strengths of this year's Stony Brook team. We've talked about the experience, but it's the depth that Kristen Belzung pointed to. She said in her 8 years in charge of this Seawolf program, it's as deep as they have ever been. As a result, she's seeing much more competitive practices, and it's put a good kind of stress on her starting unit. They can't relax because they've got hungry younger players breathing down their necks, trying to earn opportunities. The head coach likes her vets and doesn't think they need extra motivation, but she said it can't hurt, especially for as many 5th and 6th year seniors as they had trying to grind through their last year all season. But the most beneficial aspect, she said, of the depth is the old coaching cliche: iron sharpens iron. But remember, cliches are existing for a reason, because a lot of times they ring true.
Well, that's right. And it all starts with your practice gym and the level of competition there to elevate your team's level of play. And Kristen Belzung really complimentary of what everyone on her roster is adding this year in terms of helping the team improve, whether there's someone you see on the court all the time or someone who doesn't get a lot of rotations.
Down by 2, Patzels, one of those cagey vets, back to work. And has it drift wide. Tough time for a service there for Stony Brook. Towson up by 3 and on serve.
And of course, Zaire Abdul-Rahim now rotates back onto that front line for Towson. So we'll see if they try to find her quickly over on the right side.
Jessie to serve. Well-controlled first touch. Sets up Anderson. Stewart yet again. Calendar from off the net. Same thing from Kuntz. Oh, my goodness, the reflexes from Calendar. And that one drifts wide. The defense, the story for Towson.
Sarah Calendar continuing to provide so much value. It starts with Stewart, diving play by Jesse, and then look at Calendar, right play, right time. Her stat line, she has 5 digs so far for Towson to go along with a couple of kills. And again, Sydney Stewart so far, 3 assists, 8 digs. I told you before, I continue to believe that she has been the X factor for Towson.
And I don't know if you saw that, but I loved the leadership there from Calendar. Her reflexes were maybe the most impressive part of that play, but as you said, the effort from Macy Jesse, and when the point was won, all of her teammates went up to Calendar, but Calendar was quick to point out, Jesse, that it was her dive that gave the opportunity to keep that point going. And that's the thing about this Towson team. You know, early in the year, they were still finding their roles, finding their cohesion. They lost so many pieces that have moved on to power programs from last year's team that won the regular season and lost in the championship match to Delaware. And there was some growing pains that they had to endure, but they seem to have found their roles here down the stretch, and they look an awful lot like the Tigers teams we've seen in the past.
They do. Because of the culture that Don Meadow creates with his program, it doesn't really matter who the personnel are out on the court. That's why you see that the result is the same, and they certainly do look a lot like that team from last year right now in terms of the level of play. A
future Tiger. You saw it on your screen there. She looks like she's ready to go. That one goes long. Stony Brook immediately looking for a touch, but the official emphatically saying no, and it doesn't look like we're going to challenge. And all of a sudden, the Tigers have opened up a 5-point lead with Jesse still on serve for Towson. Closing in on this first set. Yeoman's work just to get it over there from the Seawolves. Demango adjusting in midair. Alenia Demango.
And what about that serve? Oh, my goodness. Maisie Jetsy just showing you the entire skill set today for Towson.
2 points away from taking this first set as it seesawed early. Tigers taking control late, but Anderson giving Stony Brook a little bit of life.
CAA all-rookie team, you can see why. We've said it before, we'll say it again. She is going to be special in this Stony Brook program. She already just understands the game so well.
Henry, that sinking serve. Again, Stewart, a really good first touch. Calendar going to work, but Petzos a wonderful block. And that one just a tad deep, and it leads to set point for Towson.
And again, Sarah Calendar is a big part of the reason that Towson ends up with that point. She's been fantastic in set 1.
She will serve for the opening set. Moore awkwardly fighting that one off. We'll get a try for the back row. Got a piece of the block, and then Stewart dug it out. Barrett. And Patzel send it over. Right back to work. Abdul Rahim, and Towson takes the first set.
And Matt, who is it that gets the big play for Towson? It's Sarah Calendar. Again, Calendar and Stewart have been tremendous, and it is a great sign for the Tigers.
If they can extend points and then let those frontline stars like Barrett and Rahim feast, look out for the Tigers this week. Stony Brook will look to regroup. Towson up a set. Back with a second in a moment. Towson taking the opening set, 25-18. Victoria Barrett, such a big part of the reason why for the Tigers.
Offense, defense, did everything she needed to do. She was the go-to player. When Towson felt that there had been a momentum swing and Stony Brook was on a run, they fed Victoria Barrett, and she delivered. She provides so much energy, so much leadership. Look at the height of that approach. 8 kills, 6 digs. It was a great first set for Barrett.
And, by the way, did it in an incredibly efficient fashion, hitting 389 in that opening set. And you see Stewart diving all over the place. She was his biggest story for the Tigers.
She really was. 10 digs. How often do you see a player in double digits in digs in a single set? Stewart, to me, again, was fantastic in terms of her ability to keep the ball off the floor, and I think that gave Towson the edge in set 1.
It's kind of funny. It sums up the story of Victoria Barrett's time at Towson. No matter what she does, there's always somebody that stands right there next to her and steals just a little bit of the limelight. Good to see her finally win the CAA Player of the Year award this season, because she's so deserving. You could argue she's been deserving each of the last couple seasons, but Stewart has been just as important so far today. Stony Brook needs a fast start, and that is exactly what they were looking for. Leonie Kuntz cross-court finish, and the Seawolves lead.
Yeah, Kuntz is a player for Delaware that just does so many different things. They can count on her for the big-time kills. Look at the pace on the approach, the power on the swing. Massive kill for Kuntz.
Stony Brook grad senior. They set this center against Abby Campbell, another grad senior for the Seawolves, but she was ready for it. Callender able to fight that one off for Towson. Back to Barrett, and a block goes wide. Victoria Barrett doing a good job picking her spots.
Once again, seeing where the block was and being able to make the right play. The IQ of Victoria Barrett on the volleyball court, it is just tremendous to watch.
So good at knowing when to try to get it on the ground and when to try to get it through the block, as that one falls on the wrong side of the net for Stony Brook. An unforced error from the Seawolves, and Towson up a point with Demango serving.
Unlucky for Tori Henry, who just mistimed it a little bit.
Moore again has it blocked. The big presence up front of Abdul Rahim.
That's the experience of a player like Zaire Abdul Rahim. She understood exactly where Callie Moore was going and was able to extend her hand over, as you saw on that replay.
Henry, such a good decision maker, comes to Kuntz. 2 Tigers converge. And Barrett's going to have to just bump this one over. She almost had it drift wide. Campbell, late adjustment at the net, but Abdul Rahim was there. Again, the Tigers forced to send it over. So real opportunity, and the third time's the charm as Leonie Kuntz gets it down.
They're going to keep feeding her the ball. She is so strong over on the right side. She's hard to defend that time. The block not able to fully cover it, and Kuntz with the kill.
Second straight year, she's been second team All-CAA. And the opening there, Aaron Brothers able to take advantage. Those long arms as she reached back ever so slightly.
And that's a big kill right there for Brothers. And the reason why is Leonie Kuntz is so difficult on her serve. To be able to get out of that rotation with Kuntz serving, that's a huge kill for Brothers.
And good to see Brothers on this stage. Remember, she was injured last year right before the CAA championship and missed it. Another block for Brothers, who's making the most of her opportunity this year.
Well, and I think the question mark for Towson coming into this event, we knew Victoria Barrett was going to be Victoria Barrett. Who were the other players that were really going to rise up to that level? And it's a great sign that Aaron Brothers is providing some really good rotations.
Moore had to adjust late to go down and get that one. Opportunity here for Towson. Nakai had it fought off by Kuntz. Moore, though, had it blocked. She's having a hard time with this front line for the Tigers. She tried the touch route. It went off the head of Henry, and it's punched over wisely by Signa. Barrett with power off of fingertip, and Victoria Barrett doing it in all kinds of ways.
Everything just going the way of Towson right now. You have Victoria Barrett, who is now in double digits in terms of kills. And she is hitting the ball so efficiently. Matt, you mentioned it a little earlier. It's not just that she's getting big kills. It's the efficiency with which she is doing it. She is hitting 45% right now for the Tigers. You can certainly see why she is the player of the year. To be able to do that on this stage in this moment, it's a big scoring run for Towson, and I think right now for Stony Brook, just looking to regroup a little bit. And I think one of the big things they're talking about, they got to get that good first pass, get in system so that they can get their big hitters going. They have the talent. Kaitlyn Moore, phenomenal option. Leonie Coots, phenomenal option. Quinn Anderson, phenomenal option. And Abby Campbell, she's someone you want to use in the middle because she's just so smart.
You know, Monica, go back to Barrett for a second. The amazing thing about her transformation over the course of her college career, where she started at New Mexico State, kid from Stafford, Virginia, goes out west, plays for a year, then comes back east and finds a home at Towson, spends a year kind of learning the system as a supporting cast member. But you watched her as that first season went on, and we're like, is she the most talented player on this team? Last year, she showed I might be, and this year, she left no doubt. She's the most talented player in the league. Back line from Kuntz. Stewart again diving to keep it up, and Towson able to get it over. But the center, Henry, sees the opening and takes it in the center.
That was absolutely the right play by Tori Henry, who has been very steady so far for Stony Brook. And again, relying on her teammates to get her some good passes so she can get this team into their offense. 8 assists, 4 digs for Tori Henry.
Come near side, an adjustment in midair from Nakai, but a great diving play from Kuntz. Anderson, though, again can't get it down in front of Stewart. The diving dig this time from Moore. And Anderson finds the back corner. Just sticking with it, and a much-needed point for Stony Brook.
And let me tell you, one of my favorite things about Kaitlyn Moore, even when she's not getting all the big kills, defensively, she's on point. She already has 5 digs today. She's diving everywhere.
Patsos diving to the center to keep that one in play. Anderson had it sent back, and a brilliant block from Ava Nakai.
Another nice play by Nakai. And again, I think for Towson, we knew Barrett was going to be really strong. The question mark, were all these other players going to rise up at her level? And they are doing it. Nakai having a great game as well.
Henry to Campbell, flat-footed try. Good adjustment from Abby. Nakai again, diving dig number 6 for Moore. Anderson able to get it past Moran. Quinn Anderson having herself a night.
And what about the defense of Kaitlyn Moore? You talk so much about her offense. Look at that diving play by number 15 in blue. She is not just an offensive player. She is all over the court for Stony Brook.
Certainly leading the way in floor burns along with Sydney Stewart, but she got 8 up that time. Too much power from the Tigers. Side out back to Towson, who has a 3-point lead.
Back to serve for the Tigers.
Towson just continuing to get more and more people involved offensively, showing some good balance. It's Barrett leading the way with the 10 kills, but lots of options offensively.
Service here for Stewart. That's her first of the match, first of the second set for Towson. Remember, that really plagued the Tigers early. They had 5 in that opening set. It's enough to make the Seawolves smile on the sidelines as Stewart back to work defensively for Towson. Calendar has been busy, but the block from Lewis.
That is a fantastic play by Ayana Pierre-Louis. I am so impressed with her timing and how she set that up. And now Stony Brook, you just feel a little bit of a momentum shift here behind the service game of Tori Henry.
And the ace And again, it's a Seawolf rally as they draw even. Another pin set and another block. But that one goes wide. The Tigers get the point by the thinnest of margins as Nakai got just enough.
She is doing well over on the right side for Towson. She's one to certainly keep your eyes on as her career continues at Towson.
You know what she wants to do for a living? She is a biology major. Told the Towson SID staff she wants to own her own orthodontist practice. Is that one put away by Anna Pierre?
Well, that's the thing that you always have to remember at these events. These are student athletes. They have lots of big goals and lots of big dreams that extend further and wider than this volleyball court. They do so much, so well, and I just marvel at all of them.
Service hand from Signer. Seen a lot of career aspirations reading through the bios over the years. I think that's the first time I've encountered a future orthodontist.
Well, and the specificity of the goal, that is very impressive.
Still don't know what I want to do when I grow up. Patsos able to fight that one off at the net. A diving dig from Jesse, and then a finish near the net from Abdul Rahim. The Hofstra transfer showing why she's second team all-conference.
Well, and what's impressed me about Abdul Rahim today, she's had some nice kills, but she's also gotten to a lot of these second balls and diving plays, good coverage on the floor. She's doing a lot of the little things, too.
Kuntz had it deflected near the net by Domingo. And Abdul Rahim has it sent back. Again, the blocking line doing work for Stony Brook as Towson continues to go to the edges.
But credit Stony Brook for the timing on some of these blocks. Again, momentum plays. And I just love, again, what we see out of Callie Moore, because today I think her defense perhaps has outshone the offense.
Now they sent to center, and Domingo able to power through. You could see on that last point she was expecting it, and they've had some openings in the middle they have not taken advantage of here in this second set. Nothing Patsos could do. Such a tough job for the centers for Towson because there's so many weapons they have to choose from and keep happy. Henry near the net, able to bring it back, but Campbell couldn't quite get it down.
Nice reaction by Maisie Jesse.
Barrett sent it towards the back line. Campbell in the middle, had it fought off by Domingo. And then Barrett overpowering Patsos. And the scramble from Towson sets up Victoria Barrett again.
The height on that vertical jump, oh my goodness. Victoria Barrett just skying high over the ball, and that is just what we have come to expect from her in the CAA.
Was it a leap or a levitation?
It's always a good question when it's Barrett.
Abdul Rahim, the big swing, and Towson is rolling. The Tigers have opened up a 4-point lead and forcing another Stony Brook timeout. So the Seawolves need to regroup quickly, already down a set. And trailing by 4 in the second in this opening round of the CAA Volleyball Championship. There are a lot of question marks surrounding this Towson team coming into the year, losing Nita Chaich and a bunch of other players that have moved on to play not just high major volleyball, but Power 4 volleyball. And yet the one thing that you really weren't all that uncertain was the defensive efforts that Towson were going to be able to bring to the table, and they've shown them off so far tonight.
They really have. I think the defense today for Towson has been the storyline. They have 37 digs so far as a team, and Stony Brook just not having their best hitting day, and I think it's because of the Towson defense. So credit the Tigers, because I think that is the reason why they are currently in control in this match.
The digs were going to be there, and now Towson takes a timeout right back at Stony Brook. So the Seawolves make a little switch in alignment, and so Don Meadow counters with a timeout of his own, his first of this half. It's kind of funny because Don Meadow works really closely with the centers every day in practice, and his close relationship as he has with that group. He actually grew pretty frustrated with them at one point this summer. In fact, he walked into the locker room before practice one day and put his message in writing on the blackboard. He simply wrote, "We will not set another ball until we learn to dig." So you have Sydney Stewart on that libero position. You knew she'd be okay. You have your blockers up front with plenty of experience. You weren't worried about them. He wasn't going to leave anything to chance with Macy Jesse and Kaitlyn Moran, and boy, that hard work pay off.
It really has. Again, I think defense wins championships, right? And the defense today for Towson has been what has been on display on the floor. It's not just one player. We've talked a lot about Sydney Stewart. She's putting up the numbers today, no doubt about it. But it's everyone. It's not just Stewart. They have all bought in this mentality about a refusal to let the ball hit the ground. And frankly, in a tournament field that is as strong as this one, that is what it's going to take if you want to be playing on Saturday.
Hofstra has already moved on. They will face Charleston in Friday's first semifinal. Who will oppose Delaware in the second semifinal? The tape is kind to Callender, and Towson grows closer up a set, and now leading by 5 here in the second.
Well, playing here in this arena, you certainly understand how that tape works, and that was a gift. It does not repeat for Towson, so unlucky there for the Tigers.
And by the way, credit where it is due. Callender with the euphoric celebration, but it was actually DeMango who had the perfect serve, but couldn't do it a second time. And now Van Wheat will come on to serve for Stony Brook. Doesn't get a ton of opportunities, but put a pretty good move on that ball.
Well, and I think that Kristen Belzing right now is trying to switch some things up, trying to find something that will give her team a big momentum boost.
Didn't find it that time, as Abdul Rahim got just enough, and the lead back to 5 for the Tigers.
It's so interesting when Zaire Abdul-Rahim comes in. She just provides something extra over on the right side. That lineup, when she's hitting right side, it is a tough one to defend.
Kaitlyn Moran, true freshman setter, who was in all that digging practice. And her counterpart catches Towson napping as Henry exploits the vacated center.
Well, she also is able to levitate a little bit in the air, and you're not exactly sure what she's going to do. Very deceptive by Tori Henry. That's the experience of a player like Henry.
It's a different kind of levitation. Doesn't quite start from as high up, but it hangs just as long. Meeting at the net, and Anderson able to draw the call as a centerline violation, giving the Seawolves another point back within 3.
Quinn Anderson continuing to be really impressive in her CAA tournament debut. She has been a standout for Stony Brook.
Nice cross-court set. That guy couldn't quite put it away. Way off the net there from Anderson. We got a lot on it. Barrett couldn't get that opportunity. As a rare miss set, and Henry able to take advantage for Stony Brook.
Sydney Stewart trying to set up Victoria Barrett, just couldn't place that ball where she wanted it. But now for Stony Brook, a little bit of a scoring run. Can they take advantage?
Barrett fights off a pretty good serve there from Callie Moore, and it forces a bump over. Another block at the net as Nakai sent it back. Moore magically kept it in the air. Stewart spoiled it from Anderson. Anderson, who stuck with it to put it away.
Quinn Anderson just continuing to make the right decision. She is so active on this front row for Stony Brook. I am so impressed with the freshman.
Yeah, we've got a battle here in this second set. Seawolves within one. Barrett trying to stem the tide and does exactly what you're looking for out of your best player.
Well, when your opponent goes on a 4-0 scoring run, what do you think Towson does? They set Victoria Barrett because they know she will deliver with a big-time moment.
Wise decision from the freshman Moran. Here's Henry again. No one at home in the middle, and Henry continues to feast on it.
Again, Tori Henry right now just trying to take this team on her back. I talked about the decision-making for Quinn Anderson, but Tori Henry is making a lot of good decisions. It is that experience. We have seen her so much in this tournament.
Nakai, what a powerful right hand she has. And the Tigers back up a deuce.
Third kill for Nakai. I talked a lot about Abdul Rahim, but when Nakai comes in, she's another good option. See how she split the block. She went right through both players. Good placement.
Backline try for more. Moran tried to fight it off, but just could not control it. Too much power from Callie Moore.
And this is what Stony Brook wants. They want for Callie Moore to get in a rhythm, hitting the ball, because it will mean great things for the Seawolves.
Don Metal trying to figure it out, but another ace. Henry finding a rhythm, and Stony Brook's got a chance to take the lead late in this second set.
Tori Henry is just upping her level of play right now. She's one of the best servers on this team, and she's trying to take advantage.
Domingo, though, as they set the center, and she puts it down.
That was such a good decision by Moran. I'm not sure that Stony Brook was expecting the ball to go there. Fantastic play by the freshman setter.
So now it's Jesse, the sophomore from Phoenix, Arizona. Moore able to handle it. Very controlled first touch. Anderson through the block again. And Stony Brook draws even.
She's been the best hitting option on the day for Stony Brook. It's just the decision-making and the understanding. She has that desire to learn and grow and get better, and it's showing.
Her seventh put away. Abdul Rahim, another response. It seems like when Towson has needed an answer, if it's not Barrett, it's been Abdul Rahim.
Which, you think about the experience of Abdul Rahim, you trust her to make these plays in this quarterfinal.
What a difference a year makes. Last season, her first with Towson was not a big factor in the rotation by the end of the year. A near ace, but not quite able to get it over Kuntz. And there it is for Towson. The Tigers opening up the 2-point lead thanks to Calendar.
It was a valiant effort by Stony Brook to try to get the free ball over the net. But again, Calendar, what a steady, solid effort today.
Back to work. Moore, good touch. Center opportunity, but unable to put it away, Louis. Abdul Rahim rocked back and came forward, but couldn't get it down. Barrett, touch play, and it drifts wide on her. Was there a touch? No. And Stony Brook within one.
Big defensive stand right there for Stony Brook. And they really needed that point as Towson once again looking to go on a run. They can stem the tide.
Kristen Belzung, so calm, cool, and collected over there on the sideline for Stony Brook. Beautiful serve. Forces a send over from Barrett on the dive. And then Moulton puts it away from the middle.
What about this response from Stony Brook? Towson going on a big run, and Stony Brook finds the answer, and it's different players now stepping up for the Seawolves.
Moulton got a long run when Campbell went down due to injury early. Really upped her confidence and caught on here in this CAA championship. Abdul Rahim had it deflected at the net. Kuntz had it blocked, but it drifts wide. Towson looking for a potential challenge, but for now, the Seawolves have the lead.
And what about Kristen Belzung? Remember that timeout that she called, and she has made some adjustments out on the floor, and it has made a big difference for Stony Brook. Even the smallest changes can be big difference makers, and this has been a big comeback for the Seawolves.
Towson challenging that ball. Hit Stony Brook on the return.
Yeah, they think it was touched by Stony Brook, and they reacted pretty quickly and looked over at Don Metal and were imploring him to challenge this play. And Don Metal trusts his players. He listens to them. They're the eyes on the court, and they were emphatic about this challenge call.
It's funny because we talked to a couple of coaches about the process of when do they challenge, how much do you trust your eyes, how much do you trust your bench, how much do you trust your players, and they all said, well, it's got to be the players first and foremost, but then everybody's got a little bit of a different philosophy. Did that touch the tape or did that touch Durango? This is why I have zero interest in ever being an official of any kind. Besides bad vision, that was slowed down frame by frame, and I still can't tell. It is a hard job, isn't it, Monica?
It absolutely is. And these officials, they've been doing a great job all day long in both of our matches. And really in the first match, we didn't have a lot of challenge calls, and I think that is a credit to the officiating that we had in that event.
One challenge, and by the way, the officials got it right on the floor originally. And everybody in the building, everybody in the world thinks that they could do a better job than whoever is deemed responsible that day in the umpire's chair. But, you know, if you actually keep track of how many times you're right when you yell at the TV, I'm going to guess it's not as many as you'd think.
Well, and it's very hard to do real time. It takes a tremendous amount of focus.
And it stays with the Seawolves. So again, the officials get the call right. And by the way, I'm just as guilty as anybody at home at yelling at the officials. That doesn't stop me just because I know that. As Don Meadow does not get that one right.
Especially when it's my team playing.
All right, so Stony Brook 3 points away from drawing even. Down a set, but up a point late in the second. Barrett, the touch play. Oh, that was nicely done as they fooled Stony Brook.
That's right, a little deception there with Barrett coming in to make that play behind Durango. Well executed out of the break. And when you make a challenge call, you do get the benefit of being able to draw something up to run on your next play.
Don Meadow always has something up his sleeve. There's a reason why the man has been named CAA Coach of the Year 5 different times. In his 12th season in charge of the Tigers, who are even here in the second set. Patsos able to fight it off. And then the big swing from Kuntz. Nothing that Jesse could do.
Kuntz, again, such a dynamic option over on the right side. 5th kill of the day, going along with 8 digs, by the way. She is so huge in terms of what she does on the floor for Stony Brook.
Wheat again. Calendar decided to play it and couldn't keep it up. And it's set point for Stony Brook.
What a clutch play. Rayanne Wheat coming in off the bench. This is so hard to do when you have not been in the game. You come in to serve these big points. I don't think we talk enough about the mental toughness that it takes to execute like that. That was a fantastic serve by Rayanne Weed.
Monica, she played 5 matches all season long. The sophomore out of Mount Olive, Alabama, did not play a single time her true freshman season. So in her 6th career match, here she is, center stage, huge spot in the opening round of the CAA championship. And that's Kristen Belzung trusting that depth that she told us about this week. And boy, that trust paying off so far here.
Well, and I think when you come into the tournament, and these teams all very familiar with each other, you have to have a couple tricks up your sleeve. You have to have different players who you can showcase to do different things at pivotal moments that you think can give you an edge. And boy, did Rayanne Weed really give Stony Brook an edge right there.
Towson fans trying to give the Tigers an edge. The Shark connection. Everybody's having fun. That's what matters. Swimming upstream right now, though, down by 2 late in this 2nd set. And Barrett and company will look to avoid the Seawolves drawing even. Weed back to work for Stony Brook. Serving to draw the Seawolves even. Almost an ace. What a reaction play by Brothers. More touch play. And this time it was Jesse going down to get it. Barrett got a fingertip. And a side out to Towson. They fight off 1 set point.
Well, we knew they wanted to get the ball to Barrett. I'm not sure that they expected her to get the ball in that way. That was a fantastic set out of system for Victoria Barrett to get that kill. Aaron Brothers with the assist.
Many different paths to success. And Towson that time maybe traveled the one that's a little bit less worn down. Here's Moore along the far side. Storch somehow fought it off. You saw how high it went. Barrett again, and Towson ties it up.
But again, Matt, that was a beautiful kill. But that dig by Sydney Stewart, are you kidding me? She placed that exactly where Kaitlyn Moran needed the ball to be to set up Barrett.
Here's Moran. And Stony Brook out of rotation. Oh, my goodness. It leads to set point for Towson.
That's a tough call right there for Stony Brook, as they are whistled out of rotation. And usually when the whistle blows immediately after the serve, that is what the situation is. Tori Henry going over the captain to get the explanation. And Kristen Belzung now going over to speak with the official. But it looks like they're pointing over to Kuntz in terms of her placement on the floor. And again, that is very tough for Stony Brook as Towson on a 3-0 scoring run.
We've got an official sitting with us at 2 players were not in the right spot that time. And they overlap consequently, setting up set point for Towson. Center opportunity for the back line. Kuntz couldn't get it down. Guess who scored? Barrett another try, but that one was read by Signa. Moore, cross-court play read by Barrett. Patsos going down to dig it out. Extended rally with the set on the line, and Nakai says that's enough. What a comeback from Towson.
And they go to Victoria Barrett for a lot of the big plays to get them to set point. And then it's the freshman, Nakai, from the right side. That was well set up by the Tigers. What a comeback by Towson.
Robert can't believe it. She's looking at her hands, Nakai is, to figure out, how did I do that? I'll tell you why. You're making the plays today. A hug from Abdul Rahim, a comeback from Towson. They're up 2 sets to none, and will try to advance to the semis when we return.
This is TU, where big college promises turn into life-changing action. Opportunity here isn't pie-in-the-sky thinking. It's out there in the world doing. Potential isn't in the future. It's now, in every line of code, in every creative spark. And discovery isn't starting from scratch. It's digging in to your existing momentum. Join a community of doers and grab life by the stripes at Towson University.
Bacon. Good morning, everybody. Nothing like the Jersey Mike's morning prep. The sizzling bacon, the slicing of the tomatoes, the bopping of the fresh lettuce.
Danny, what are you doing up there?
I've been living up here for months.
Got a package from Mr. DeVito?
Oh, my bacon sniffing horn. Oh, smell that bacon. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, now we're talking. Freshly prepped every morning. It's a Jersey Mike's thing, a sub above.
This is where everything starts. It's a place of new beginnings, new opportunities, and a new identity. We are the Coastal Athletic Association, and from the beaches to the city streets, we are united to succeed at an elite level, in competition, in our communities, in our lives. This is the tide that lifts us, the fire that burns inside all of us. This is our moment, our new chapter. We are the CAA, and we are united in excellence.
Style in sports, it's a 1-2 punch. Originality, that's style.
Today we're going to be helping style some high schoolers.
We're about to get some style in there with some student athletes. We're going to take these kids to the next level.
Take my fire.
You know what I mean? Something different.
Some swag.
Get it.
Under Armour we here, man.
Style is all about a representation of yourself.
If you look good, you feel good, you play good, it goes all in one.
In the classroom, in the field, on the water. Stony Brook University is a place for daring. Daring to see where you can go when you follow your heart. Daring to define your own path is not always easy, but it is always worth it. At Stony Brook, New York's flagship university, daring to be something more in this world starts with daring to be true to yourself. Stony Brook University, dare to be.
Back at the TU Arena, the campus of Towson University, opening round of the CAA Volleyball Championship. I'm Matt Janis with Monica Moore. Towson leading Stony Brook 2-0. The Tigers were down late, but what a comeback from this gritty Towson team, showing why they've had so much success on this stage over the years.
And Victoria Barrett really showing you why she's a CAA Player of the Year. She has 15 kills and 9 digs. She is 1 dig away from a double-double in this contest, and they went to her a lot when they were coming back in set 2. I think she's been tremendous. Sydney Stewart with 15 digs. Maisie Jesse, 13 assists. Kaitlyn Moran with 11. I think the setters are doing a nice job putting the hitters in opportunities where they can be successful. Zaire Abdul-Rahim is getting the job done on the right side. And Ava Nakai, she's the hero in that second set. Nakai with the nice play from the right side to win that set. It was a monster play by the freshman.
She has been a revelation for Towson at the biggest moment. You knew what you were going to get. Plays like that from Victoria Barrett, but to have the balance, here it is, that big swing, and nothing the back line of the Stony Brook defense could do. The CAA Volleyball Championship is brought to you by SoldOut.com, the official ticket resale partner of the CAA. Towson can hold on and win this one. Might have a near sold-out crowd tomorrow night as the Tigers, the host team in this program. Friday has been traditionally the day they draw the best in this event over the years, and they would have a potential rematch with Delaware. Those have been the teams that have squared off in each of the last 2 CAA title tilts. Towson won 2 years ago. Delaware got them back last year. And the rubber match, 1 set win from Towson away from occurring.
I will say, though, that I thought in set 2, Stony Brook made some great adjustments. Yep. They grabbed a lot of the momentum. They're starting to get some of their players going from an offensive perspective. Quinn Anderson, in my view, has been fantastic in her debut in this tournament. And I think if they can get Kuntz and Moore with more opportunities where they can find that success, Stony Brook can absolutely come back in this contest.
Here we go. Third set underway. Calendar near the net. Had it blocked. St. Wolves trying to be aggressive. Moore pushing it towards the corner, but Towson was there. Abdul Rahim couldn't get it down thanks to Moore. And then Louis finds the middle.
Callie Moore has been covering so much ground defensively. That was a phenomenal dig by Callie Moore.
Now Henry to serve. Center set to Mango yet again. Seems like every time Towson goes to the middle, good things happen for the Tigers.
That was a fantastic decision by Maisie Jesse. Perfect set to the middle, and Domingo making quick work of it.
Calendar has been very effective on serve today. Trying for the back corner, forces a backpedal play from Moore. Coons had it fought off by Calendar. Barrett from deep in the corner, and that was an almost impossible play, even as good as Victoria Barrett is. And Stony Brook back up by 1.
Yeah, she had to rotate her body quite a bit to be able to bring that onto the floor. So that is tough for Barrett because there was not much she could do with that play.
Stewart, excellent first touch, allows him to go back to work, and the center's there again. Domingo, the senior from Italy, continuing to shine on this championship stage.
Well, it worked so well the first time. They go right back to her, and that was a fantastic play once again. And for Towson, if you're wanting to make a run in this tournament, you have to get your other hitters involved too.
Moore able to fight that one off. Now coming towards the net. Boy, she lunges down to keep it up. And Monica Moore gets a touch on the ricochet. Still got your reflexes there.
Showing my skills.
As Towson gets the side out. I could see how bad you wanted to touch there. You were going after that ball.
That's what you have to do come tournament time.
Domingo a little too fired up. The player her coach Don Meadow lovingly calls the Italian Stallion, the service air. Only the 8th of the match for Towson. Pretty good considering they had 5 in the first, 17 points of the night.
They certainly have cleaned it up, which is very important. They've made the adjustment. I think they were serving very aggressively and just had to refocus a little bit more in their service game.
Abdul Rahim. A big swing, but somehow Signa fought it off. You can see Stigna using her entire body to stagger under that one. Little calmer block there from Henry. They set the center again. Brothers couldn't touch it over the block. Abdul Rahim powers it through, but Signa again was there. Coons got it through Brothers, and Stony Brook hanging in there. Takes the lead back.
Madison Signa doing such a good job defensively to help Stony Brook get that point. She had 16 digs in the regular season finale against Campbell. She has grown so much this season in terms of her confidence, and she was absolutely huge keeping the ball off the floor.
Wow, Barrett there went down, then had to adjust, still kept it up. Way out of system, Stony Brook, but it doesn't matter when you have Callie Moore.
This is a great sign for Stony Brook. If they can get Callie Moore going, it is going to be a game changer. Look at where she placed that. She goes right through the block. Perfect placement by Callie Moore.
If Kristen Belzum puts that in the playbook, they'll have to call it the merry-go-round. There's a center opportunity for Barrett. Fought off, but not quite from Signa. Heck of an effort, though, from the sophomore.
It's a big play for Towson, though, because Stony Brook on a 3-0 run. And I think one thing that Towson has done very good in this match is managing the Stony Brook runs. Every time Stony Brook strings together a couple of points, Towson is able to find the answer. One of the big reasons why is they have Victoria Barrett on the roster.
I mean, what are you supposed to do with that type of power? Pretty good power in her own right there from Leonie Coons. And Stony Brook back up 2. They get the side out. By the way, back to Madison Signa for a minute. You talked about her growth. So impressive because last year She suffered a couple of injuries mid-portion of the season. First, she broke her nose. Then she had a concussion, and she was away for so long, couldn't get herself back into the rotation. And she was a little frustrated by it, but decided to work in the offseason to not let it happen again. And boy, has she, is Towson able to hang in there and get that point and back within a single score of the Tigers.
Well, and I think it was Madison Signa that, of all the coaches we talked to this week, she maybe got the highest compliment of any of the players, because Coach Belsing telling us they wish she could be on the court more. They love what she brings to this Stony Brook program.
Every player's dream to have the coach describe them in that way. Barrett has had a lot of good descriptors come her direction, but can't get it through Moulton that time. What a block from the redshirt freshman.
I really like what Mercedes Moulton brings to this Stony Brook team. A big moment in the middle, exactly what the Seawolves needed.
Squared up, isolated against the best of the CAA, and she comes through. That one dug out on Brothers. Nakai too deep. And Stony Brook, its largest lead of the night, up by 3 in this must-win third set.
And I think in this set, they're starting to look more like the Stony Brook team that we've seen a lot this season. Perhaps they even look a little more relaxed in a must-win set.
Nakai looking for the middle. And the center line violation against Stony Brook. No, too many.
Violation point Tigers.
And Kristen Belzung is going to challenge the call, as it was a center line violation on Quinn Anderson, and the entire Seawolf team puzzled look on their face at the official when that whistle blew.
This is a big call right here, as Stony Brook in control here in set 3 with a lot of the momentum. And we were just talking about this. I think they're starting to look a little bit more like the Stony Brook team that we've seen all season long. They look more relaxed, more comfortable in their offense. They're making some good defensive plays. Seeing a few more smiles on their faces when they make these plays. And so, again, this is a massive call. We'll take another look here, and Quinn Anderson's the player you're going to want to be looking at.
So close. If she brushes that tape, or if maybe the foot comes across, the officials will have to figure it out. You mentioned the culture inside this Stony Brook program. It really is strong. Coaching staff said, we're looking for a certain type of kid on the recruiting trip. They're searching for youngsters who want to develop both as volleyball players, but also as people. Growth is such a critical part of the program's success over the years, and you have to be open to that. It's passed down from not just the coaches, but from player to player as well. The examples are up and down the roster. You got Julia Patzels waiting her turn at libero, and then far exceeding everyone's expectations. Abby Campbell changing her role multiple times and pretty much taping her body back together so she can get back out there and play during her career. Maddie Signa, Mercedes Moulton, able to fill multiple roles whenever the teams needed them. And the upperclassmen are doing that. What choice do the underclassmen have? And when you find the right kind of kid, it makes that message so much easier to deliver.
No, it is. And I think for Stony Brook, this year in particular, when you think about the leaders that they have on the floor, these experienced players who have been through so much together, they have done so much in the sport of volleyball, it really helps convey that culture. It's no surprise that Stony Brook is back here for the 3rd straight year, because a part of their culture has been winning, doing things the right way, and that constant search for growth, that growth mindset that these players have. And again, I think that comes from Coach Belzung and her staff.
When they got swept, and a lopsided sweep at that, by Delaware a few weeks ago, I mean, they looked in a world of trouble when you were peering at the CAA standings. And he's kind of look, how are they going to pass two teams and get back into the field? And they just did what they did. Despite a tough schedule down the stretch, they're able to battle at a big final weekend and didn't have to win as many matches in a row as they did last year, where they took 5 straight to get into the field. And by the way, including a sweep over their biggest rivals, their Long Island Bevan, the Hofstra Pride, which Kristen Belzung admitted was awful sweet last season to get to this stage. This year it was just a final weekend sweep, and then a little help from Northeastern as well, with the Huskies all banged up. But you could hear the emotion in her voice. They didn't want it to end. This group's been together for too long.
Well, and I think when you have the task in front of you like Stony Brook had, where they had to be really good at the close of the season, it helps to have those upperclassmen, the Tori Henrys, the Leonie Kuntzes, the Callie Moores, who know what it takes to earn your way into this tournament. And I think you just can't coach that level of experience.
They're upperclassmen,
That's
too.
right.
So many of them are grad seniors, taking advantage of, I mean, obviously the pandemic was not in any way, shape, or form a good thing, but there have been some trickle-down effects that have had positive impacts on some of these young student athletes' lives. The opportunity to get an extra year, get bigger, get stronger, get a grad degree, and they have taken full advantages. This is an extended review, a call that was as close as they come, trying to figure out whether it's a center line violation or not.
Well, and Matt, to your point, we talked with Kristen Belzung about that, because this was the group that started college during the pandemic. They had the most atypical freshman year you could ever have in New York. You had to isolate one person to a room. Yeah. It was very strict. And so these players stayed at Stony Brook as we get the call, and it will go in Towson's favor. So the call will stand, and that's a big one with Stony Brook trying to grab the momentum. Again, a must-win set here for the Seawolves.
Whatever the explanation that Kristen Belzung just got, she was unsure. And now asking Tori Henry what exactly happened there, but the review is over. The decision has been made. It was an extended one at that, but the debate continues. That's how much each point matters at this stage.
Well, particularly at this juncture of the match, when the momentum had clearly swung in Stony Brook's favor.
Well, whatever it is, Tori Henry just cannot believe it. Now, remember, they said call stands, so there was no conclusive evidence that they could overturn what was called a center line violation. Here is Sydney Stewart. Nobody else was ready but Stewart, who apologizes both to the officials and Stony Brook as they were still talking it over with the officials.
She thought she heard a whistle, and it's loud in here. There's a lot going on, and I think that's just the reflexes. When you think you hear a whistle, you serve the ball.
She's been amped up to go for a long time, too. That was a long freeze before her turn. Patsos able to fight off a pretty good one. Anderson couldn't find an opening thanks to Moran's presence. Nakai has been magnificent today, but didn't get a good piece of contact on that one. Stewart another dig. Callender hit that one on the descent and had it sent back. Nakai had the same thing happen. And the point goes to Stony Brook on the double contact from Towson.
And that's a big point for Stony Brook. After the adversity, they get their heads refocused, they win the point, and now they look to make a run behind the service game of Patsos.
Middle opportunity, and Domingo again makes the most of it. She has been excellent in the center all day.
And really credit Kaitlyn Moran, because this was a fantastic set, a shorter set to Domingo. She has good chemistry with Domingo and puts those balls in places where Domingo can be successful.
You could see Louis and Henry cheating a little bit towards the pins there with the power waiting along the wings. Backline try for more. Got a touch by Domingo, but hustling back to get it Barrett. Abdul Rahim got the touch she was looking for, and Towson able to get back within one.
And I like that decision to go to Abdul Rahim. She's back in the lineup. Usually when she rotates back on, they look to get her involved pretty quickly.
A little too much on that first touch from Kuntz. And it's an easy put away at the net. Domingo able to take advantage, and Towson draws even.
Domingo is doing a nice job here, managing the moments, making the right plays, being smart.
Near collision between Kuntz and Moore. Anderson, 4-4 play, read by Stort. And then the dive to keep it alive from Jesse. And Henry again able to find the middle as they were cheating to the edge. And a big put away for the center.
Tori Henry, one of the leading offensive options here for Stony Brook. She has been so smart in picking her moments at the net.
Domingo was vacating. Calendar caught a little flat-footed. Here's Abdul Rahim. Nothing flat-footed about that. My goodness.
Her progression, you mentioned it a little earlier, Matt, from last season to this season, really figuring out this Towson program, how she needed to operate in it, developing this chemistry with new teammates, and she is really shining brightly.
Again, the serve leads to a tough first touch and an easy put down for Barrett. Victoria gets the kill, but the credit there really has to go to Calendar.
Completely agree. I think Victoria Barrett felt like that was one of the easier plays she's had to make today. Credit her teammate.
Again, the return goes over the net, and Domingo puts it away with a big point and a huge smile for Calendar as it forces a Stony Brook timeout.
Sarah Calendar has a really good serve coming into this tournament. 24 aces on the year, but even when you don't get credit for the ace, you can see when you get your opponent out of their serve receive, you catch them off balance, it creates a good opportunity for your team, and Sarah Calendar has been doing just that. I think it has been a very solid effort today. The first set in particular, she was one of the ones to watch. Now other players have stepped up at different moments, and that's something that you have to really appreciate about Towson's performance today. It's been different players in different moments stepping up big.
How many times have we heard over the years coaches stress the importance of first touch on serve receive, and Stony Brook for the most part has held its own tonight against a really good and really deep service rotation for Towson. But all of a sudden in this third set, a must-win for the Seawolves. The first touch has betrayed them as they either don't have it under control and are stuck out of system, or they're flat out sending it over the net.
And I think now you're going to see them really think about the fundamentals in terms of how they receive the ball, because they're looking to get a really good pass to Tori Henry.
They need a response here. Down 2 sets and trailing by 2 points. Nice effort from Moore on the dive. Kuntz had it read by Stewart. Barrett near the net. Fought off by Henry. Abdul Rahim had it spoiled by Moore. Kuntz couldn't get it through the block. Domingo got it up. Henry couldn't quite keep it up high enough for her teammates.
And Tori Henry was in the right place. She did everything she could on that ball to keep it off the floor. It has been a valiant effort by Tori Henry.
You're right. Whale of an effort. Just too good from Domingo. Good set from Henry near the net, but the block from Abdul Rahim.
That is a monster block on the right side. You see the smile on her face. She read that so well, how she timed and positioned this block. Take a look at that. She does such a good job of even adjusting her hands in air once she sees where the hitter's going.
Patsos, excellent first touch and an easy put away for Louis. And boy, did Stony Brook need that one. It ends a 5-0 Towson run.
And that's the leadership of Tori Henry, knowing where she needs to place that ball. They needed a kill, and because of the decision-making of Tori Henry, they get it.
But then a service error right back to Towson, the side out, and the Tigers lead by 4. And you can see the pep in the step for Sydney Stewart short as she'll get a breather.
For the Tigers, Domingo.
Domingo was set to serve. Instead, Don Metal is going to go to his bench and call on Laura Detweiler for the second time today.
We have seen her come in as a serving specialist, and I think Don Metal feels like this is a crucial moment in this game. And they're looking to switch things up a bit with Detweiler.
He'd like to put it away, keep his team as fresh as possible for tomorrow, and not have to work more than 3 sets. But a little tougher now as Louis able to get that one down near the center, as Towson could not control the first touch, and the Seawolves back to business.
Yeah, I think Abdul Rahim knew she made the wrong decision there. She would have been much better served to just try to hold off, make a pass to her setter on that play.
Well, wasn't that long ago that Towson was hitting sub 100 in this set. They're up to 250, and Barrett pads that total as she finds the back corner, and the lead up to 4.
She is just so special. How does she find this placement? It would be so easy for this ball to go long, and it's because of her strength and the power that she brings it down on the floor. Textbook by Victoria Barrett.
And the leaping ability certainly helps as well, as that's a good spoil from Callender. But then no one home for Towson. They sort of fell asleep as 2 went diving and no one rotated.
In the match for the Seawolves.
But a good opportunity here as they're going to bring in Rayanne Wheat, who was so big with her service game in set 2.
She came inches away from winning that set for Stony Brook. Remember, she had an ace that set up set point. Pretty good effort here, but fought off by Towson. And then the center line violation continues to plague Stony Brook as the Tigers get service back.
I think that was a smart decision for Towson to go to Barrett because they were trying to get out of that rotation with Wheat serving. And they end up with the point again. Really credit the setters. They're making smart choices.
A little bit of a mistouch there from Brothers, but away from the net. Callender got a good swing on it. Patsos fought it off. Barrett could dig from the back line. Nakai could not quite fight it through Moulton. Moore can't get it down. Callender tried to use the tape, but it's unkind as it ricochets back. And Stony Brook within 3. The toughness of this Seawolf program on full display.
And again, this is the experience of Stony Brook. They're facing the adversity, but they're continuing to come up with big points and big moments. They have so much leadership on the floor. I can't say enough about Tori Henry, and she's been the glue today for me for Stony Brook.
Callender again finding the net as it comes back at her. Maybe a little fatigue setting in, as she has done so much today for the Tigers. And Don Meadows sensing it too, wants a timeout to give his team a bit of a breather and a chance to regroup. Stony Brook within 2 in a must-win set, trailing 2-0 in the opening round of the CAA Volleyball Championship. Towson's up 2 sets. They lead by 2 points, but Don Meadow taking a timeout, trying to avoid Stony Brook building any momentum. If the Seawolves are going to rally, they're really going to have to find a way to get Callie Moore going. His defense paying her a lot of attention and really doing a pretty good job against one of the best in the CAA.
They are, but I have to tell you, I think Tori Henry, I've talked a lot about her, and I think she's been fantastic in terms of her mentality today. And it was really interesting when we talked with Kristen Belzone, because what she said is that, you know, she's not a pure setter, but her IQ is off the charts. And that's what we're seeing. She just makes smart decisions. She watches a lot of video. They talk to her like she's a coach on the floor. And I think that has been huge today, but Stony Brook, a service error at a pivotal moment, that is tough.
Huge mistake by the Seawolves. So now they're up against it, down by 3. And Towson 7 points away from another date with Delaware. Awkward first touch from Kuntz, but did enough to keep control. More from the back line, and it's spoiled by DeMango. She thought she was going to get it. Instead, they go to Nakai, and it was touched as it goes deep. The point to the Tigers.
I really like the confidence that Ava Nakai brings on these swings. She goes for it, and you have to do that at this level.
Oh, the serve off the tape of the dive from Patsos, and then a huge swing from Moran through the block. A must-get point there for Stony Brook.
She's been really good today in her moments. When they have called upon Moten, big things have happened. She's hit 75%, 3 of 4. You can't ask for much more.
Here's Patsos. Seawolves need a run. DeMango had it deflected near the net. Anderson had it sent back, but Patsos was there. Henry goes the other way. Louis did not get the touch. It goes deep. She was looking for a finger, but couldn't find it.
I have to tell you, Matt, though, I know I keep talking about her, but I absolutely love to watch her play. Tori Henry is over there rallying her team. She's clapping her hands. She's getting their attention. She's getting them composed. That is a leader out on the floor.
Gotta happen now. Towson 5 points away. Henry couldn't catch him napping that time as Barrett was there. Abdul-Rahim puts it away. Towson by 5.
Again, we have watched Zaire Abdul-Rahim play for a lot of time in this conference. First at Hofstra, now at Towson. And just watching her progression and the way she is playing right now, she's so poised. She's making the right decision. She's not trying to do too much. She's really playing within herself. And I think today she has been that big counterbalance to Victoria Barrett, because they are confident when they need a big point that they can also set Zaire Abdul-Rahim, and that's huge.
A kid that did not pick up the sport until high school, but has certainly proven to be a fast learner. Combines great athletic ability with a strong work ethic, and then quite a bit of intelligence to just keep getting better and better. She was a second-team all-conference performer her final year at Hofstra. Wanted to come closer to home, so transfers down here to Towson. We mentioned didn't have the initial season that she was hoping for, but just stuck with it. And then Don Metal saying this week she developed kind of an off-speed offering near the net that forces defenses to play her a lot more honestly.
And I think today, the ability to switch things up, because when you have her on the front row along with Victoria Barrett, it really makes the defense have to be pretty honest in how they're defending the ball, because you just don't know where the sets are going. It's a big run by Towson trying to close this out, but Stony Brook, they are so experienced. They are so well coached. They're going to look for one more big push right here.
They take the timeout as they know it needs to happen just about now. Towson 4 points away. Staggering to keep that one afloat was Kuntz. Anderson tried the sinker, but Jesse was there. Another big swing from Abdul-Rahim. Patsos hustling, and Moore able to get it over. And then Patsos comes up to spoil it in the center. Anderson can't quite get it down. Henry goes to Louis. And Towson just keeps responding, and Abdul-Rahim finally finishes off the rally.
We've been talking a lot about her, and again, when Towson needs a big point, they are so confident in her abilities. She's another one that she really brings a powerful swing from the right side. She's been huge today. 3
in a row now for the Tigers. 3 points away. More from the back line. Jesse was there. Abdul-Rahim, they feed the hot hand, and it's scorching.
It has been a lot of Zaire Abdul-Rahim. The consistency on the right side, and I want to compliment Sydney Stewart too, because you can tell when she has the moments to set the ball with her hands, she gets so excited. She loves doing that. She loves setting up her teammates. She's been so good today.
What an effort by Henry, but could not keep it inside the antenna, and it's match point for Towson. 1 point away from a third consecutive date with Delaware in the CAA Volleyball Championship. This time it would be in the semifinals. Louis, the touch route, but Calendar was there. Abdul Rahim just missed by a matter of inches.
I don't think anyone was shocked that they went to the hot hand in Abdul Rahim for that point. It just goes long. I think this is a great sign for Stony Brook that Tori Henry is serving.
They need at least 7 in a row. Jesse staggered to get it set. Abdul Rahim gets it down, and Towson marches on. A straight sets victory, and they'll get another shot at Delaware in tomorrow's semifinal.
Zaire Abdul Rahim. It's not just that she came up with 12 kills in this contest. It was the moments when she came up with them, when Stony Brook is knocking on the door, when they're trying to make a big run. The fact that these setters are so confident in Abdul Rahim's ability to come up with the big plays, she absolutely came through for Towson. They know that they cannot win a championship just with Victoria Barrett and the big kill numbers. They need other players to step up, and today, Zaire Abdul Rahim delivered.
Between University of Delaware and Towson University.
Time now for our Jersey Mike sub above play of the game. Who else would it be but Zaire Abdul Rahim? Put the power on display all night and celebrates with her teammates after tonight's Jersey Mike's sub above play of the game. So Towson advances, and the Tigers will get another date with Delaware. They played 2 great matches against the Blue Hens in the regular season, splitting the series, and they'll play for a 3rd straight year in the CAA championship, this time a round sooner in the semifinals, as Monica Moore will be joined by Don Meadow here momentarily.
Matt, you got a big head.
Congratulations, Coach.
Thanks. Or I got a small head, one of the two.
I'm here with Coach Don Meadow. Coach, congratulations, winning in 3 today. And what we noticed out on the floor, it was a total team effort. I wanted to talk with you about Sydney Stewart. She had 10 digs in the first set. I thought she was tremendous getting you off to a good start defensively.
Yeah, I think when we spoke, those postseason accolades are, both a blessing and a curse. And for her, I think it really kind of set a mindset that she had to come out and have something to prove. Because I do think she's probably one of the top 3 Libros in the league. But sometimes, she gets overshadowed, just like, Victoria Barrett got overshadowed last year with Nina being here. So, she had a great day, and we're going to need those performances tomorrow and hopefully Saturday as well.
Victoria Barrett is certainly a sensational talent, but it was Zaire Abdul Rahim in the 3rd set that really closed things out. Can you talk about the confidence that she was hitting the ball with?
Yeah, Z's a special kid, a high flyer, so it's nice to have 2 athletic kids on the pins for you, and they're right beside one another. So when we're in system, it's really hard to stop. And then, you feed it a couple times in the middle, and we were just kind of throwing it in the center of the court. We didn't necessarily need to hit hard in the middle against Stony Brook. So game plan well executed. I actually thought that we probably lost the serve-receive battle. Stony Brook served really well tonight, and we had to fight to stay in there. But we need to pass better tomorrow against a really, really talented Delaware squad if we want to have a fortunate outcome.
And Coach, last question. I know with a player like Victoria Barrett, everyone focuses in on her, but I did feel like it was a total team effort today. At different moments, you had different players, whether it was Sarah Calendar coming in, whether it was your middles who came up with the big play. How important is that going to be coming down the stretch in this tournament, trying to get to Saturday?
Yeah, Delaware has a really good offense, and they're talented in every position. So we're gonna have to have that supporting cast step up. Victoria Barrett can't do it all, but the last thing I'll say on air is, how about Maisie Jessie? I told you she wasn't a wimp anymore serving that ball.
She did a great job, and she's going to need to certainly do it tomorrow as well. Coach, congratulations. Go celebrate with your team. We're excited to see y'all again tomorrow.
Thanks. Appreciate you guys.
So with that, Towson will advance on. They will play Delaware. Our stage is set for tomorrow. We will also have Hofstra against Charleston. It is going to be two very fun matches. We've talked all day long about the parity in this league, how there was no clear favorite coming into this tournament. Now, I will say, Matt, we had 3 set matches in both of our quarterfinals. I don't know that that was exactly what I was expecting, given the quality and the parity in the league. But hats off to Towson, hats off to Hofstra. They both came in with really good game plans, and the players on the floor executed.
It is so true. We were talking about how coming in, any team could potentially win this tournament, but it does seem sort of fitting that these are the Final Four, because when you think back to how this regular season has unfolded, Monica, while there has been incredible parity, there have been 4 teams that have ever so slightly separated themselves from the rest. So it's only fitting that they get to square off and go toe-to-toe over the next 2 days to decide a championship. And, Charleston and Hofstra is going to be a whale of a match, because the Cougars fresh and with a lot of new pieces in place. They've been working to this stage. They're going to have some tricks up their sleeve. Meanwhile, Hofstra, the depth, we talked about what they've been able to do all year long, and then another opportunity to watch Towson play Delaware on this stage. It's been a lot of fun now. We've seen it 3 straight years overall in the championship, 2 of the last years coming in the final, back to the semifinals this season. And, both programs will point out, they have other rivals, but the last 4 years, this has been the matchup in the CAA, and we get to see it again.
Well, I think depth the storyline today. Both of the teams that are advancing on utilize their depth to their advantage. That helps when you're playing on Thursday, because you are looking to play 3 days in a row. So we'll see if the depth continues tomorrow for Hofstra and Towson, and whether they're able to get those contributions all over the floor. They're going to need it against the caliber of talent that Charleston and Delaware bring.
I can't wait to be here with you. We will have all the action on Flow College starting at 3 p.m. It'll be Hofstra against Charleston, and then after that, Delaware and Towson. For Monica Moore and our entire CAA crew, I'm Matt Janis. Thanks so much for being with us. Hofstra winning earlier, Towson winning late, both in straight sets. Can't wait for tomorrow. Have a great night, everybody.